In fact, NASA was created in 1958 to study the problems of flights in the Earth's atmosphere and beyond. The creation of the space agency was initiated by then-President Dwight D. Eisenhower. It was a response to the unexpected success of the Soviet Union in launching an artificial Earth satellite in 1957. NASA helped the United States enter the space race and even win it. Since then, the Aerospace Administration has launched thousands of satellites, and its spacecraft have visited every planet in the solar system. Some even plunged into the atmosphere or descended to the surface of alien worlds. NASA also sends astronauts into orbit, where they conduct useful research for humanity on the International Space Station, ISS. Open the Google Maps app on your smartphone. Your location is determined by the Global Positioning Satellite System. Without NASA, such a project could not exist in principle. The myth is destroyed, but millions of people continue to believe in it. Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will discuss the top 5 NASA conspiracies. But before starting the video, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's get started. Number 5. The secret lunar base. Our moon factors heavily into a few different space conspiracy theories. One such theory is that not only have we been to the moon, but someone has built a fully functional lunar base on the far side. The moon is in tidal lock with the Earth. That means the rotation of the moon has slowed down over millions of years to the point where the same side of the moon always faces our planet. It's called tidal locking, and it means that whenever you look up at the moon, you'll always see the same features. It also means the far side of the moon, sometimes mistakenly called the dark side, is out of view. You have to admit, a base located on the far side would be safe from prying eyes. But who could have built such a thing? The theories postulate everything from the Nazis in World War II to the United States to aliens. We've certainly had a look at the far side of the moon a few times. Many of the Apollo missions passed the other side and took amazing photographs. The Chinese have landed on the far side of the moon in early 2019, and nothing appears to be there. But images and videos from these passes by the Apollo missions and the Chinese spacecraft showed no signs of secret moon bases. It doesn't help the conspiracy theorists that some of the evidence they pointed to in the past turned out to be promotional efforts for movies like Iron Sky or Transformers: Dark of the Moon. So far, it appears that science fiction is the only place you're likely to find a lunar base. Number 4. Roswell, Men in Black or Area 51 conspiracy. No discussion about space conspiracy theories would be complete without mentioning the Roswell incident. In July 1947, rancher Mac Brazel discovered some strange debris in an area northwest of Roswell, New Mexico. Brazel couldn't identify the debris, and a nearby military base released conflicting information about the material's origin. A few local newspapers picked up the story. While people thought the incident was unusual, several years passed before the first theories about alien activity really took off. At that time, dozens of UFO enthusiasts published stories and books about the Roswell incident. The basic theory was that the debris came from an alien spacecraft, and that the United States government confiscated the material for later study. According to some theories, the government transported the debris to an Air Force base in Roswell. Others say they took it to Area 51, a secret military base in Nevada where the government tested experimental aircraft. There were stories of autopsies performed by government officials on dead aliens. Some people claimed that anyone trying to uncover the government's secrets about aliens would receive a visit from a group of intimidating officials in dark suits, the so-called Men in Black. The U.S. government repeatedly denied having any information about extraterrestrials, but many theorists dismissed the government's responses. Officially, the Air Force says that the debris found in Roswell came from a crashed surveillance balloon that was part of a top-secret project called Project Mogul, and that it has no information about alien life forms. Another nail in the theory's coffin came when the United States CIA acknowledged the existence of Area 51 in a document about the U-2 spy plane. The document didn't suddenly blow the lid off of alien technology. Instead, the paper confirmed what many writers have said about the military base. It was a testing ground for top-secret military aircraft. Number 3. The USA 193 spy satellite. On December 14, 2006, Vandenberg Air Force Base launched a rocket carrying a satellite called USA 193. The satellite was part of the National Reconnaissance Office's NRO intelligence program. In other words, it was a spy satellite. The satellite had trouble maintaining orbit, and by late 2007, the Air Force determined that it would soon crash to Earth. The U.S. government announced in January 2008 that it intended to shoot the satellite down with a missile. Why shoot down the satellite? The government said it was because the satellite's fuel tank contained hydrazine, which is toxic. If the fuel tank survived re-entry, it could land on a populated area. On February 20, 2008, the U.S. fired a missile and struck USA 193. Some people believe the government didn't tell the entire story. They say that the government also wanted to prevent the satellite from falling into another country's possession. Others go even further and suggest the United States only wanted to show the world that it's capable of shooting down a satellite with a missile. In 2007, China destroyed a weather satellite with a missile, calling it a test. That test spread debris in an area around the Earth filled with other satellites, endangering those machines. By contrast, the United States' approach was to fire on USA 193 when it reached a low enough orbit to minimize danger to other satellites. Was the U.S. government using USA 193 as an excuse to respond to China's test missile? Some people think so. Number 2. Flat Earth Society. In 1956, Samuel Shelton founded a society that subscribed to a theory about the shape of the Earth, namely that it's flat. Shelton based his theory upon what he called common sense and personal observation. He called the scientific evidence for a globe-shaped Earth dogmatic, meaning scientists were making this claim without adequate evidence. Later, when people showed him pictures of the Earth taken by satellites, Shelton claimed the photos were fake. He and the members of his society continue to support the idea that the Earth is flat, and that those who disagree are part of a conspiracy to keep the truth about the Earth hidden. Shelton died in 1971, and leadership of the society passed to Charles Johnson. Johnson led the society until his death in 2001. Without leadership, the society fell apart. Critics of the Flat Earth Society say that its members simply deny any evidence that conflicts with their worldview without offering real alternative hypotheses. Keep in mind that humans have known Earth was round for centuries. The ancient Greeks learned by measuring shadows that the planet's surface must be curved. That led to astronomers concluding that the world was round. The myth that people during Christopher Columbus's journeys believed Earth to be flat has no real basis in fact. The argument was really about how big Earth was, not whether or not it was flat. Number 1. The moon landing was a hoax. The granddaddy of all space conspiracy theories has to be that the moon landings were faked on a soundstage. Those who believe the moon landings were hoaxes say that the United States lacked the technology necessary to transport humans to the moon and back. They claim that NASA faked the landings in order to make people believe the U.S. had fulfilled President John F. Kennedy's promise to land a man on the moon before 1970. What evidence do these skeptics cite? For one thing, on the lunar landing videos, you can't see any stars in the sky. NASA says that's because the moon's surface and the astronauts' suits were so reflective that it was too bright for the camera to pick up the comparatively faint stars. Another point theorists make is that while planting the American flag in lunar soil, the flag appears to wave. With no air in space, how is that possible? NASA says that the astronauts rotated the flag's pole back and forth while planting it so that it would remain upright. The rotation of the pole caused the flag to move back and forth as if rippling in the breeze, even though there's no air on the moon. NASA says that there's plenty of evidence that men landed on the moon. There are photos, videos, and testimonials from the dozen astronauts who have set foot on the moon's surface. The astronauts returned with soil and rock samples, which NASA also cites as physical evidence of our presence on the moon. Some hardcore conspiracy theorists maintain that all of this evidence is fake or came from unmanned missions to the moon. That's the real problem with conspiracy theories in general. There's no real way to convince people who believe in them that they might be wrong. The theorists may claim that any evidence contradicting their ideas was fabricated in an effort to cover up the truth. They may also argue that the lack of evidence to support their beliefs is due to the government or some other responsible party, taking great pains to remove all evidence from view. In other words, arguing with some theorists is like saying, heads you win, tails I lose. But even if these conspiracy theories don't reflect reality, it's no secret that there are boundless mysteries waiting for us out in space. We might even know 2 or 3 of them already, but we aren't telling. That's all from today's video. Please let us know your opinion about the video in the comments section. And don't forget to like and share the video, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to receive our daily new video notifications in the future. See you in the next video. Until then, take care.